All right, and welcome everybody. Today is April 17th. I'm Stuart Anderson, and this is the Crown Council live stream broadcast. Grateful to be with you. This is our once a week opportunity to connect with our members, Crown Council team members, resource partners, and anything that is happening across the Crown Council community. We started this broadcast about 3 years ago, and we are grateful to continue to listen to the stories, learn from our resource partners, and find mentors and friends out in the Crown Council community. So we're grateful to be with you. We always spend the first few minutes going over some housekeeping items. So I'm going to share my screen. This is my screen at crowncouncil.com, and I wanted to make sure that you are seeing a few things that are happening inside crowncouncil.com. If you go up here and click on My Directory and go to the Premium Member Hub, every week we are updating the Smiles for Life campaign results with the top offices who are producing inside the Smiles for Life Whitening campaign. So almost to $500,000 in donations so far through Smiles for Life Whitening. Big love and big to Ultradent who make this possible. They are the ones that donate all of our whitening supplies. Hopefully in the next couple weeks we'll have a few guests from Ultradent to talk about their materials, to talk about their supplies and their vision for helping us with Smiles for Life. But last week, some top offices, Dr. Dennis Wells and Dr. Weston Spencer. Dr. Spencer's crushing it. And then obviously here's our top offices so far on the Smiles for Life campaign. And super grateful to see these teams, all their hard work, their service and sacrifice to make the Smiles for Life campaign a success. So if you see your name, give yourself a pat on the back. We're grateful for you and thankful for all the money raised so far. There are so many offices that are participating. If you are not participating in Smiles for Life Whitening this year, you are definitely still welcome. We're not past the point of no return. You can join us for Smiles for Life. And if you don't know what it is, this is our charity opportunity for doing good in your practice. It's a turnkey charity opportunity where you donate whitening, Ultradent donates the services, the whitening kits, and the patient donates to your practice for those services. So 3 real key elements: your willingness to do the service, Ultradent's whitening products, and then your patients who also donate. So if you want to participate in that, get in touch with Crown Council office. We'd love to have you as part. We've raised over $52 million together over the last 27 years doing Smiles for Life. And we're super grateful for all the money raised and all the good that is done. The best practices in the Crown Council are constantly doing good and working on their doing good strategy, not only for building their team, but also for building their practice and their patients and the stories inside the community that spread. So we'd love to have you participate. I'm going to share my screen one more time and navigate here to our Mentor of the Month. A couple weeks ago, we had an interview with Adrian Leffler from My Social Practice, who talked about 3 ways that dental AI is changing dentistry from a marketing perspective. We played this on the live stream, at least a piece of it, and we've had a lot of follow-up, a lot of questions, and a lot of comments on what My Social Practice is doing to help in this AI world for marketing, for advertising, for connecting with patients after hours. And it is definitely worth it for you to listen to this and connect with these links. My Social Practice has an AI agent, is what I was told. That's what we call it, an agent that can communicate with patients after hours. And it's not a bot. It's actually an AI agent that can respond, and you can pre-program that agent to speak to patients. So definitely worth your time. And then each week, Steve and I record and produce a skill of the week. With the help of our team, this is broken down and created into just a short 2-minute to 3-minute video that you can watch maybe one a week and then work on this. But the one this week is incredible. Talk with patients in terms they understand. One of the hallmarks of a great teacher is that they're able to take complex and unfamiliar concepts and then translate them into things that their students understand. That is the same inside of a dental practice. Are you using terms that patients don't understand, terms that you think they understand, but they do not? So this talks about using word pictures as a team to make sure your patients understand what you're saying. So definitely take advantage of that tool that's updated every week, the skill of the week, and you can find that in the Premium Member Hub. All right, that's enough for housekeeping. Although there was a lot of chatter this week for the new Forever Young program, which we're going to talk about in the next couple weeks when I interview David Hornbrook. Really excited to launch a new live meeting in Dallas in November called Forever Young. So just a little teaser. We're going to be sharing a few things about that live event, but reach out to us if you have questions. I'd love to talk to you about Forever Young. So, all right. DJ's got our first guest in the waiting room. This is Jordan from Eddy HR, and as Jordan comes in, I'll introduce him. I kind of want him to hear me because I want to make sure that he understands. He hears my introduction. Jordan, what's up? Welcome to the live stream.
Igor, what's happening, man?
So about 20 minutes ago, Jordan sends me an email. It's like, "Hey man, what's going on? Are we still on?" And I had forgotten that he was going to be a guest today, so I apologize. I don't know if our guests need to know that, but thank you, Jordan, for reminding me. Grateful to have you on.
No worries. Excited to come and hang out with you and the members. It's gonna be great.
So everybody knows, I mean, this is as casual as it gets. I mean, we had what, 10 minutes to prepare. This is our opportunity to just connect with Jordan and make sure that we're just casually talking about the things that are happening. He works for Eddy HR. Jordan, if you wouldn't mind, would you give like the 30,000? If I'm a doctor in an elevator and I was like, hey man, what do you do for work? Will you talk about what Eddy HR does, what Eddy does?
Yeah, absolutely. So
Okay.
I've been in payroll and HR for 18 years. And so when I say I work at Eddy, they're like, Eddy HR, what is that, you know? Essentially, we can do anything from hire to fire. So if you think the employee life cycle of like hiring, electronic onboarding, all of your people management stuff, payroll, HR, like we can do anything in regards to insurance, benefits, work comp. We're the all-in-one solution for like small to mid-sized businesses to like truly like run their company and make their employees happy. So
Very
that's a
cool.
quick version. Yeah.
And maybe Jordan, give us a bit of background about yourself. Just what you do at the company, what you've done in the past, just maybe introduce who you are. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, so like I said, I've been in this space for about 18 years. My first real job out of college was ADP. And so I worked there for about 3 years. In the first year I sold, and then I managed a team here in Salt Lake City, Utah. From there, I opened up 3 states for a company called Heartland Payroll.
Okay.
Did that for a number of years and decided that I could do it better on my own, I thought. So I started my own payroll and HR company with an insurance broker and did that for only 2 years, so a short stint, because then I quickly merged with Eddy, and that was about
Mhm.
5.5 years ago, and I've been with them ever since. I'm their VP of Strategic Sales, and so I primarily help a lot with like partnerships, obviously sales, and then I dabble and help in some marketing stuff as well.
Okay. Very cool. We Eddie was a big resource partner here in Crown Council, and we're reigniting our partnership, our resource partner with you. And I think a few things have changed, some updates that have happened in the last maybe 2 years since we've connected. Do
Yeah.
we want to start there, Jordan? You want to talk about some things that you've seen change in Eddie over the last year or two?
For sure. I mean, obviously we've grown a ton. In the last 2 years, I would say the biggest two things are one, we built our own proprietary payroll system. We used to white label another provider. And so now it's all Eddy. It's all of our technology. We own it. It's all one solution. And then the other big one that's really like changed what we've done is we've moved into like the insurance space as well. And so we have like a benefit admin system. So when you think like healthcare benefits, work comp, like it's all a percentage of payroll. We tie it into one system, make it seamless and really clean to manage that on a daily basis. So it's almost like as cheesy as it sounds, like set it and forget it, right? You remember that old commercial where you like they put it in the oven, set it, forget it. Like once you
Mm-hmm.
have Eddie set up, like it pretty much runs itself. It's pretty seamless. So it's nice.
Very, very cool. Whenever I have a resource partner on the live stream, there's one really important thing that I like to remind everybody, which is Jordan is interacting with hundreds, if not thousands, of dental practices like at your job. So he's seeing what works, what doesn't work, what the best practices are doing, and maybe what the ones that are struggling are not doing. I'd love to hear from you, Jordan. Just talk about that for a minute. I mean, when you are interacting with the best dental practices through Eddie, what kind of things are you seeing that another Crown Council practice could adopt, or things that you're like, this is how they use Eddie to be successful? Can you talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I have worked with, I don't know if it's quite thousands yet, but hundreds of dental practices, a
Thousands,
lot of medical.
literally thousands of practices.
Um, I did a quick recap. I brought on over 3,000 clients now, so I've worked in like every industry and seen it all. But we do have quite a bit in the medical and dental practice, orthodontist, endodontist, things like that. But I would say the biggest thing is, and I'm gonna be blunt, like a lot of them are kind of old school in their practices, right? And so they're on paper, they're on spreadsheets, they're not organized. And when it comes to running a dental practice, like there's a lot of compliance, there's a lot of like, certifications and things that like that expire. And so if you're doing that on paper, on spreadsheets, like one that there's a chance that you could have human error, right? And so then it comes into compliance penalties and things like that. And so the other thing that comes into that is for your employees, right? And so I relate this to kind of like going on a first date. You have that first impression, right? That first impression means a lot. And so when you hire a new employee, if you kind of come in and they like get handed a stack of papers and say, fill out these documents, go sit over in the corner, watch these videos. I'm gonna get with you in a couple hours. I've got some dental stuff I got going on today. I got, quite a few clients were busy, but just make sure you get that done and then we'll chat later today or tomorrow, right? Like that's not usually the best first impression. It's kind of like if I take a girl on a date, right? Like I'm happily married, been married almost 18 years, but like this goes back a while. But like, if I take them to like a movie and Taco Bell, like they're not going to be like the most impressed. Whereas if I like, bring them flowers on that date, take them to
Right,
Ruth's Chris, like roll out the red carpet, right? And it's probably going to give me a second date if I do the latter, right?
right.
Same thing with your employees, like that first taste of your company, like if they're throwing stuff at them like paperwork and spreadsheets and it's not like structured and organized, and then as they move through, like if they can't view their pay stubs or they're still getting a paycheck instead of direct deposit, I see that happen more than you would think as well. Um, it's just those little things that are like, do you really care about me? Are you guys organized? Like, or
Mm,
you're not paid on time? Um, I could go off on a tangent for probably hours on this, but yeah, that structure and that organization, like it makes a good first impression. Then also it can make your life way easier if that's all put together and you don't have to worry about compliance and anything expiring. So it makes a huge difference that way.
I love that. I do. I think it's it. Let's do the tangent for maybe 10 minutes. Um,
Okay.
let's talk about how Eddie, because if there is one thing we hear a lot about at Crown Council, it's how can I find the right people and then keep the right people. So maybe that let's do it. Let's do that tangent a bit. Like, what does Eddie do, or what have you seen that finds them and then B keeps great team members?
Yeah. So, I mean, the first thing you have to look at is like when I'm going out to hire someone, I've got to know what I want, right? You have to truly know what you're looking for. Is it just a dental hygienist? Is it like a front desk person? Is it an office manager that's going to run it? And so once you have that established and you know exactly what you're looking for, the first thing I recommend to all of my clients is like, go see what your competition's doing. Like honestly, if you don't know what they're doing, you don't know how to compete, right? And so I tell them, so I say, go on Indeed, go on ZipRecruiter, go on LinkedIn, look up those titles that you're posting for, and see what the competition's offering because people are getting like uber creative these days. I've seen anything from like $5,000 signing bonuses after 90 days. I've
Mm.
seen free Disneyland, trips for their
Hmm.
family. Like they're really correlating that family office space and like, hey, once you've worked here 3 months, we'll take your family on a trip to Disneyland. So like people are getting really, really creative. But I would say the biggest thing that like almost everyone cares about, and most people won't admit it, is they want to be cared about. They want to be recognized. They want to feel like a true employee that they're valued, right? And people will like play like the, tough card and be like, "Ah, I don't really care what they think about me. It's just a job." But like everyone wants to be valued. Everyone wants to be
Mm.
recognized it, whether they admit it or not. I think th they can be selfish and say they don't care, but like when someone recognizes you and like says it gives you a compliment or tells you you're doing a great job, that goes a really long way. And so going back to like, let's go back to like finding that talent, right? So the first thing I say is go look at your competition. The second thing I do is like, write a really strong job title because it's almost like we'll go back to like your dating profile, right? If I were Stuart, I'd put I'm the best biker in Utah. I've got the fastest, KOMs on all of Strava. Just kidding.
Yeah,
But
that's gonna get you hired.
you have to have like those things that stand out, right, about your company. And so I always say like keep it simple. So like have like 3 to 5 bullet points of like why someone would want to come work for you, right? And so the next thing is though, once you've got that established, you know what your competitors are doing, like make sure that you're spreading the word as much as possible. So yes, job boards are really good, right? Indeed works, ZipRecruiter works, Talent.com, LinkedIn, like there's a ton of different job boards you can go to, and I definitely say take advantage of all of them, right? Eddie helps with that because we post to any job board in the world. But I would say the one key thing that people don't do is post through their employees. So if you've got an
Mm,
employee that's happy that you take care of them, they've stayed with you for 1, 2, 10 years, whatever it may be.
great
If
advice. Yeah.
if they're willing to share that to their social media, to Facebook, LinkedIn, X, formerly known as Twitter, right? That goes a long way because one, it's sharing to a pool of people that they trust, people that they probably worked with in other positions similar to your industry, and then they become a reference for you, which is the key thing, right? So they post that to their job boards and like on Eddie, we make it simple because they can click one button, it goes to their Facebook, right? But anyways, like by doing that, you're not only going out to like the entire community in your area and posting all the different cities around you, but you're going to like people that are like really close to your like the people you trust and care about, and you're getting their friends to come work for you too. And so, anyways,
Great advice.
yeah. Any
Great.
question? I mean,
Awesome.
we can dive into like how to retain
No,
them,
no.
like but that's kind of like the best way. Like those are some of my best standout points that I can make to like really stand out there to find a good to post a good job posting. But
I mean, I only heard Disneyland, but yes, great.
let's go.
Hey, let's do it. Maybe could you touch on things that you're seeing that practices do that do keep these once you find them, things that you see that do keep the best employees?
Yeah, so I mean, a couple of the key things are going to be stuff that you hear all the time, right? And so I'll try and like deviate from that a little bit, but like one, you've got to pay your people, right? It's apparent anywhere you can go and see what other people are making. There's, a bunch of different softwares out there that you can look up what does a standard dental hygienist make, and it will spit it out within your area in 2 seconds, and you
Hmm.
can see what people are getting paid. So if you go look at your paycheck and it's, $2, $3, $4 less per hour that's probably not going to keep you super satisfied. So like make sure you're staying on top of compensation. The next thing would be like that goes hand in hand with that is like, are your employees like at the point where they have families and like need to provide benefits? So, if you can provide insurance benefits or at least give them like a dollar amount towards the benefits, that goes a long way. So I guess the biggest thing that I want to point out there is like take care of your people, right? Because if
Yeah.
they don't feel valued, if they don't feel like they're compensated well, they're probably going to look. But then the next thing goes back to what we talked about a little bit in regards to like people wanting to be recognized and like feel like you actually care about them. So it's the little simple things. When you onboard a new employee, ask a couple of simple questions like, where's your favorite place to shop? What's your favorite candy bar? Where do you like to eat out? And the reason you're going to collect that kind of data is because everyone has birthdays, everyone has anniversaries.
Mm,
Like you could even ask, when is your, birthday or when is your anniversary? And with those kind of things, like recognize them. If you give them a $10 gift card to Starbucks because they love getting a coffee on the way to work, like at least you recognize that you like established a relationship with them, you know that they love Starbucks, and then you give that to them on their birthday. That kind of stuff
mm,
goes a really long way, way in supporting your employees. But I mean, other than that, it goes into kind of like I would say like your management style, right? Like I try to keep it as simple as possible in everything I do, but I call it connect, coach, and hold accountable as my management style. So if you're truly connecting with your employees, you know who they are, you know what makes them, like what drives them, what gets them excited about life. If you're coaching them on a regular basis and helping them take them to that next level, nobody wants to be stagnant. They don't want to just do the status quo. They want to be, be better in everything they do, right? And then you hold them accountable. That's probably the most crucial one is like actually holding your employees accountable. It's just like a little
mm.
kid, like they have to be held accountable to things or they never learn, right? Employees are the
Right.
same way. If we're not held accountable to something, we're never going to learn, we're never going to grow. And then it brings back to like, being able to coach them, connect with them and stuff like that. But I don't know. I mean, again, I can go off on
That's
tangents for hours, but hopefully that's some good advice that helps out a little
great
bit.
advice. No, great advice, Jordan. Thank you. When Jordan comes on or any resource partner comes on, I encourage us not to talk about your products. Not like we don't want to talk about your products, but the trust that's built by listening to Jordan's expertise, like what he knows and the industry knowledge that he has, is really incredible when we look at the resource partners and what they can do for you, whether you're just looking for advice or looking for knowledge of somebody that's been in the industry. So fun to hear what you know, Jordan, what you've seen. So
Thanks, man.
I'm gonna share my page. This is just your Eddie.com website.
Yeah.
Is this best or is there better for if connecting with you?
This is a great way to do it. Yeah, if you like, there's some fun things here that you can obviously we have transparent pricing, so you can click on pricing. You can click on, take a tour. That one's really nice because it walks you through the platform. It basically gives you like a sandbox account where you can kind of play with like dummy information and figure it out and see what you like about it.
Okay.
You can obviously set up a demo with me or one of my team members. But yeah, that's a great place to connect and learn a little bit more about Eddie. So.
Okay. Good. When the live broadcast is over and out goes the recording, I'll include Jordan's contact information. This email's or this website's easy to find. Is there anything else, Jordan, I should include to the members? Anything else you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, we give special discount pricing for all the members. So
Okay.
anyone that comes on, you'll get a minimum of a 10% discount. But then if you add more products like, not just like hiring or onboarding or payroll or things like that, I can go up to like a 20% discount. So happy to take really, really good care of your customers and your members. And we just want to be a strong partner, make sure they're taken care of. So
Okay. Thank you. I'm glad we made it work. Very good.
yeah, it all worked out great.
We're grateful that you prompted me. So thanks so much. We'll have you on again soon. And then look for this next week on Tuesday. We'll send out that weekly email to all the members with the offers and the links that we talked about. So thank you, Jordan. Appreciate you being on today.
Thanks for having me on.
Okay, man.
Take care.
Bye.
See ya.
Yep. See ya. Very cool. Uh, Excellent partner. Grateful for Jordan for re-engaging with us on Crown Council resource partner. We're thankful to have him. So very good. So I perused the top Smiles for Life list, the practices who have done the most donating so far, and there was actually a practice that I did not recognize. I'd never seen their name before, and I said, like, who's this? And I did an interview with them. Emily Spearing from the practice. This is a Lightwave practice who started doing Smiles for Life last year, raised $8,000, and are way past that already. So I'm going to play this little recording. We did it yesterday, and I didn't know this at the time, but Emily's wearing pajamas in the interview. I guess yesterday was National Wear Pajama to Work Day. So their office was on board and wearing pajamas to work, which is kind of fun. So let me share this little video with Emily, and it's about 10 or 15 minutes. So we'll just get started. Okay. Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome, Emily Spearing. Emily, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good. So, let's first start with your pajamas. You just told me you're wearing pajamas. Can you talk
I
about
am.
why? Okay, do it. Tell them.
Yes.
Tell everybody.
It's just a random April 16th is pajama day this year at
Oh,
GFD. So, yeah, we've got
uh-huh.
all of us in jammies today.
So fun. Okay, so GFD, Gastonia Family Dentistry in
That's
Gastonia,
it.
North Carolina. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Can you tell us a little bit about your town where you live?
Gastonia is one of a kind. The demographic that is here, ranges from like, I mean, honestly, we have homeless to people that are millionaires. It's such a diverse place. I'm
Wow.
not actually from Gastonia. I live
Okay.
probably about an hour south of here. But I mean, we don't have much. Small town, close to Charlotte, so more people know about it than don't know about it.
Okay.
A little bit cheaper than Charlotte too, so we have quite a bit of people kind of moving this way.
Nice. Very good. And we have Emily with us today. She is part of the Lightwave group. and your office is crushing Smiles for Life. But
Thanks.
you guys are like brand new at it. Usually we've got very experienced offices that are doing as well as you are. So I thought it'd be fun to reach out. And when I called the office, they said, "You are the
Mhm.
charity champion. You're the person in charge of making it
That's
work."
sweet.
Um, so before we get to that, can you talk just a little bit about your dental career, kind of like how you got into dentistry and what led you to where you are today?
Yeah, I've been a hygienist for 11 years now.
Okay.
I grew up with my mom was an assistant, my aunt was an assistant, my cousin was a hygienist. So I kind of just grew up in dentistry. And
Okay.
then when my mom passed away, I felt that I wanted to kind of keep with the dental aspect because I knew a lot of the people, just kind of networked with a lot because of her. So got in it that way. And then, she grew with Invisalign and everything. So I kind of just met a lot of people and enjoyed it. And then whenever I started here about 7 years ago, yeah,
Okay.
I've been at this office for 7 years. Just started regular hygiene, and then in 2020 worked up to like the lead for hygiene, and then just kind of keep on taking responsibilities, just doing random things to help grow the practice.
That's cool. What keeps you at the practice? I mean, 7 years. Can you talk about that?
It's a family. I mean, we have ups and downs. I think everywhere does, regardless of profession. But the people here I see more than the people that I live with at home. I spend more
Right.
time with these people than I do with my kids, and they are my family. I'm very thankful for them. So even if you get mad, you're over it in a second, and I wouldn't want to work with other people.
Very cool. And is that coming from the doctor, or how is that culture being built in your practice? Who is kind of the instigator
Honestly,
of that feeling in the practice?
I think it's more the ones of us that have been here for years because this office has been through some ringers.
Mm,
We had an old practice up the road from where we're at now that caught on fire in 21. So we went through COVID in 20 and then the fire in 21. We built this office. It flooded the first month that we were open. Like it's just been one thing after another. And the main core people have kind of stayed through it and stayed strong. So when we
mm,
get newer folks in, it's easy to be like, hey, this is kind of how we roll. And then most of the time people just kind of fit in with us.
very good.
And our
That's
doctors, I
great.
mean, we've been lucky to have the docs that we have. They're a little younger than I've worked with at previous practices, but keeps it fun. All three of the docs wore pajamas today too. So
Nice.
try to have a good time.
Okay, good. That's cool. Well, I mean, the culture usually starts from the top, but it's fun to hear that your culture is so strong that it even comes from the team members who are kind of
Yeah.
making that work. So very good. Part of the culture that we believe in is, doing good, having a Smiles for Life, something, whether it's Smiles for Life or some sort of charitable work in the practice. I mean, Lightwave, from my point of view, has always been a huge part of Smiles for Life. Sandy in your office. I
Mhm.
mean, she won our humanitarian of the. I mean, she is like um, one of the biggest cheerleaders of Smiles for Life.
Yeah, she
Can,
is.
can you guys talk about maybe how the decision was made to be part of it, and then maybe how it's impacted you, or
Yeah.
what it looks like in your practice? Okay.
A few years ago, I guess it was 2021 maybe, we did our Lightwave launch in DC. So that was the first time that I really heard about it with
Okay.
Lightwave. And of course, Sandy was all gung ho for it.
Mhm.
And she and I are pretty close. So she was like, I think it would be a good thing to try. Tried it in 21. It didn't go off all that well. I don't think we just didn't have nobody was really like energized about it. So we didn't talk about it too much. Then last year, I spoke with Sandy again, and we kind of just decided to dive headfirst into it. Um, and last year, we sold everyone that we bought. I think we got like $8,000 maybe.
That's right. Yeah.
So, being able to give the 4,000 to our local charity, which we're doing the Special Olympics, and we're doing it again this year. We had them come in, we took a picture, posted it on social media, try to let, our patients see what we're doing. And then throughout the year, we've been able to people are like, hey, that special that y'all had, that charity thing. And I'm like, yeah, we'll do it again in March. And so, and it's not just a March to June situation for the office. It kind of runs all year that our patients kind of get a little bit hype about it.
And talk to me about, I mean, with the changes that you said from 2021 to 2024 and 5, was it just
Mhm.
you kind of helping the team get on board, or what? I only ask this question because there are some Crown Council and Smiles for Life offices that are like, maybe there's a real passionate person, but maybe not the whole team is on board. Is there anything you
Mhm.
did specific between those years that made it work?
So again, let me just keep shouting out Sandy here. She, uh, so we've gone through a few office managers and since 21.
Okay.
So I think that was a big setback was we didn't have the full support of management in the office to do it. It was more like, well, why are we just going to give this away when we can't profit? So
Mm.
it was getting that mindset changed. We did, the things that you guys send out with the kind of the goals that you set last year. All of our doctors, like I said, are young and they're fun and, they're just kind of go with the flow type people. So we said that if we did all of our cases last year, that we would get to go to Goodwill and pick out outfits for all of our doctors to wear to work one day.
Hmm.
And, so whenever, like, it made all of us like, I can't wait to see Dr. Drake in these cowboy boots and leggings. Like, everybody was so excited for it. And it's just been, it's been everybody that's kind of jumped in on it.
Fun.
There's one of the other assistants, Miranda, who has helped me a lot with getting everything kind of settled and where we want it. So having somebody on hygiene and on the doc side that can kind of keep the energy up
Very
and
good.
running.
Great. Very cool. I want to talk for just a minute about, so the most successful practices that do Smiles for Life also have a local charity. It
Hmm.
helps the culture of the practice be more enthusiastic about who are we giving this to, how are we connected to them. Can you talk about Special Olympics, and how you picked Special Olympics?
So there was not a fun story to go with it. We all had ideas of what we wanted.
Okay.
And it was between, I really don't even remember the other ones. We had three different local charities for children, and we let the office pick, and the majority chose Special Olympics. At the
Okay.
time, we had an employee whose daughter was part of it.
Hmm.
So made it a little easier to kind of run with it
Right.
that way. And she had
Yeah.
the end for, who we needed to contact, who, get them in here to get the check and to take the pictures. So that was, it was not a fun story. It just happened.
Well, it is good. Your connection through your team member is usually the thing that makes it successful, is somebody is at least passionate or connected to the local
Mm-hmm.
charity. So very good. If you were going to give advice to somebody that's just starting Smiles for Life this year, anything that you guys are doing that you're like, this is a must, this really helped kind of launch it with all our patients?
So from a clinical aspect, make sure that everybody knows how to do it. From hygiene to assistant. Like if you can all take impressions and you can all make those bleach trays, life's going to be 10 times easier.
Hmm.
Last year I had to kind of branch out of my comfort zone. I haven't done a bleach tray since hygiene school. And I felt like I was learning all over again, but it made things go smoother, and we're getting them out the door a lot easier. And then just promotions, we do post it on social media. We try to do more fun stuff like boomerangs and things like that to post. And then we typically try to send I don't want to say a mass text because it doesn't go to every patient, but
Right.
upcoming patients like in hygiene that we know are stable patients that we can just send them this like, hey, just FYI, it's that time of year again. This is our charity. This is what it is. And we typically have multiple phone calls as soon as that thing goes out. And then we're just let them know, come on in for hygiene. And as long as you're, healthy, then we're good to go with this. And
That's great advice. It's funny that you would say those things because whenever anybody asks me, "Hey, what do the most successful practices do?" The number one thing that I tell them is just say, "Well, just ask all your patients to participate in
mhm.
Smiles for Life." That's always an
Yep.
incredible way to get. Yeah, you just ask them to do it, and
It
it's
works.
usually it does work. So very good.
Except we did have one patient who called and was like, "Y'all know I have dentures." We were like, "I'm
Don't
sorry.
we?
I'm very sorry." Like, whoops.
Those are great patients. Very good.
But that was fun.
Anything else you want to tell us about your Smiles for Life campaign that would maybe be helpful to other practices or thoughts to anybody starting out?
Oh, that's putting me right on the spot.
Sorry.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Be organized is the big thing, and don't have too many hands in the pot because
Yeah.
then it gets pretty confusing. I run it all so that way I know the amount we have, the number we have, who we have, and we're not going over or under. And
Smart. That is
one
how the best
person.
practices do it is we call it the charity champion, somebody that kind of takes Smiles for Life and runs with it, whether it's patients or training or promotion or kits. And this, I don't want to make this sound mean, but it's usually best if it's not the doctor. This is
Oh, yeah, I could totally agree with that.
So a team member, a loyal team member to help run Smiles for Life Whitening. So
Yeah.
Emily, thank you. It was great to meet
You're
you in your
welcome. You
PJs.
too. Yeah.
Keep up the good work. Hopefully you guys make 10,000 this year. And
Hey, we're gonna try.
okay, good. Well, thank you very much.
Of course. Have a good one.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, very good. Fun to hear from Emily. Grateful for their practice, and hopefully her, like so many other Crown Council practices that are doing Smiles for Life, feel our support and are grateful for everything that they're learning and doing and contributing to Smiles for Life Whitening. So very good. So I had an interview with from Total Immersion and an opportunity to kind of connect, just a quick 6-minute interview with Darcy Wilson and Blake Cameron. I want to play this interview and then we'll be done. We'll be done for the day. But a fun way to remember the ongoing training that's available from the TOPS team and to Total Immersion. There's constantly an opportunity to connect and take your team to one of these live events. We caught them at the event, so I wanted to share that video with you. Hold on, I want to just share the video part. And okay, here it comes. All right, welcome to Crown Council live stream. This is a recorded segment. I'm Stuart Anderson. Howdy, guys.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Darcy Wilson, Blake Cameron, grateful to have you guys. They're downtown in Salt Lake City, so we're in the same city in different rooms, but they are participating in TOPS's Total Immersion program this morning. How's it going?
It's
It's
great.
going good.
Yeah.
You've been before, Blake?
Yeah, this is our second time. It's been a few years.
Okay.
Dr.
Maybe.
has the entire team here today.
Oh, nice. Have
Great.
you taken your whole team before, Blake?
I did. It was a smaller team, about 5 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Very good. Maybe explain to everybody what is Total Immersion. Why would you go? Why would you take your team? Why would you take your team back?
So, I mean, what I consider total immersion is a great kind of heavy 2-day dose of culture of how to treat each other, how to treat people, how to be speaking the right language as we interact with each other and our patients. Bringing them back like any other system we implement over time, certain things start to loosen up, get a little wiggly, time for a refresh. And I mean, it has been about 5 years for us. So we've got, I think, 4 of our team members that were here last time, and the rest have been new with us since the last 5 years.
Very good. Darcy, you're coach for TOPS.
I am, and I'm Dr. Cameron's coach.
Yep.
Oh, nice. When somebody says, should we go to Total Immersion? Why would I go? What's up? What do you tell them?
Well, it's interesting because for people who have been here before, I tell them that it aligns back into culture and team members. And then for the newer ones, it's all brand new, right? It's the understanding what the emotion is behind the services. And just like Steve Anderson says, there's really nothing in dentistry our patients want. It's the emotions they receive once they walk out the door. And to teach team members that is the biggest hurdle, I believe, today.
And it gives you a chance to step back. Any doctors that try to create this experience on our own in our office, we're going to fail. Simply by virtue of where you are. There's some magic to stepping out of the office, getting your team to a new place, hearing it from someone who's not you, and who does a better job at it than you do because they do it all the time.
Mhm.
You just can't replace it.
I love that. Maybe maybe one thing you learned, Blake, at Total Immersion.
So just this morning, reviewing, that we make our decisions emotionally and then we justify them with logic, and going through examples and watching the lights click on in my team members' eyes as we talk through those, so they can all see themselves in an experience like that. I think
Yeah.
it's powerful.
You're saying that patients don't want a root canal, Darcy? Is that what you're saying? Patient?
They don't. And when you fear them or guilt them into doing their treatment, there's a reason why they don't commit to it or say yes to it.
Yeah.
It's
very cool.
emotion, what
Yeah.
they feel.
Blake, is there power in gathering together with other practices? I just kind of want to get your opinion on that.
I think for sure. I mean, there are plenty of, I think, Crown Council doctors that may be solo practitioners. I've got 2 doctors with me, but there's something powerful with surrounding yourself with others who have a similar desire and fill a similar role. So for me as a doctor, going and rubbing shoulders with the doctors, there's a handful that I see at the annual event each year that I love seeing. We interact occasionally outside of the annual event, but most of it's there. And then also for my team members to rub shoulders with other dental assistants or dental hygienists that are not just outside their office, but also outside their area, right? Like for us in Cache Valley, Small Valley in Utah,
Right.
you tend to hear what everyone around you thinks. And it's nice to break out of that and have like-minded, positive, focused people.
I like that. Very cool. Darcy, what are you working on? What's the biggest challenge right now as a TOPS coach? Whether it's in Blake's office or other offices, what are you seeing right now that you're really working on?
Really, it's entropy, to be very honest. Systems that should be in alignment that kind of just fizzle and fall apart, and it's bringing it back into alignment. No one really knows why entropy happens, but it does. And then the second one, I believe, across the United States is being an unrestricted provider. So even Dr. Cameron is going through those questions. Should I or should I not be contracted with certain plans? And you've had a very successful transition this year.
Yeah, we have.
Nice. Do you want to share just a minute about that?
So we've had a wonderful problem of growth, and having more than we can handle in spite of building a new building and bringing on another doctor. So it's been the right time for us to start looking at keeping the patients who want to see us because they want to see us, not because we are cheaper. So we've been exiting many networks. I think 3 years ago, we were in probably 30 different networks, and now we're in about 5 and about to trim off a couple more. So for us, the answer for now is going to be to stay in a small number of them that we've been able to negotiate with, but it's impacted huge our ability to create experiences with our team because we're not worried as all of the other financial pressures that happen. We're in control, which has been so nice.
Yeah. Tough transition. Kudos. Good job.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, they're missing the meeting. They took a break, so I'll let you guys get back. But thanks for joining. Any final thoughts?
No, glad to
Nope.
be here. Thanks for inviting us on
No.
that. What is it? The TOPS Corner for
Top
Thursday.
Coaches Corner. Yeah, we're grateful to connect with not all of them, but most of the TOPS coaches are in Salt Lake at Total Immersion. So next week we'll connect. I believe we're going to Alaska next week to connect with the team there. So grateful. Thanks for both.
I've got one last thought for you, Stu.
Yeah.
Any doctors that are listening who don't have a coach of some kind, it doesn't have to be TOPS. I'm obviously biased towards them, but if you don't have a coach, there's a whole lot you're missing, and it's worth whatever time or money you need to spend to get it, because you don't know as you don't know.
I love that. Thank you.
Thanks, Stu.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Have
See ya.
fun. See ya. Very good. Grateful for them. Thankful for the reminder about coaching. Some of the best dental practices that we work with and that we see here in Crown Council have a coach, whether it's a TOPS coach or not, but very difficult to manage all of the things from inside that a dental practice needs. That coach has the outside perspective to help with team, with training, even financial coaching or mentors. We often hear that here on the live stream from some of the best dental practices, that having a coach is an incredible way to be successful. So grateful for everyone that joined us today. Next week, we're going to have a live webinar. So the webinar will not be here on the Zoom link. You will have to register and then join us on GoToMeeting. But that's where we'll be next week. So our April webinar with Steve Anderson will be live. And we hope that everybody can join us. The registration link is on the Crown Council Facebook page, as well as in multiple Crown Council emails. But if you go to the Facebook page, you'll see the link to register in the landing page. So we hope you join us next week. Grateful for everybody today, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.